The residents of a city voted on whether or not to raise property taxes. The ratio of yes to no votes was 3 to 2. If there were 3,260 total votes, how many no votes were there? Okay, and so this is the perfect proportion problem. We can set up a proportion to solve for the unknown amount of no votes. And the one thing to realize about proportions is that there's always going to be at least three elements. Okay, so we can name them element A and element B, and then the total of element A and B. Okay, so in the context of this problem, let's take a look more closely at what I mean by element A, element B, and the total of element A and B. So we could say that element A is yes votes, and we know that that's 3, okay, because the order that it comes in, okay, as far as yes to no, as you can see I'm highlighting no in green, okay. Call this one element A and this is element B, right? So it's yes comes first in the order of the sentence, and so that's why 3 is associated with yes votes. So there's 3 yes votes for every 2 no votes. So let's just write that down somewhere over here. 3 yes, 2 no. Okay, now the total of the two elements is 5. This is total votes. And so there's several pieces of information that you can derive from this. You could say that there's 3 yes votes out of every 5 total votes, or that there's there's 2 no votes out of every total 5 votes. Okay, there's 3 yes for every 2 no, or 2 no for every 3 yes. You can say this in so many different ways, but we need to keep in perspective the total, because the information that we're given in the final sentence is the total votes, 3,260. And this is what's going to tell us how to write our proportion. So let's begin to set that up finally. So since we're looking for no votes, how many total no votes there are, okay, I'm going to use element B here, 2, for no votes. Okay, and since we're looking at totals, right, we need the total votes that the 2 comes from, and that's 5. So every 2 out of 5 total votes are no, right? So let this be no, and this is total. So across in the other ratio, we need to have 3,260, so that we have the totals matching up. If we're going to put total in the denominator here, it needs to be in the denominator over in that one. Okay, and of course we have to have a spot for our unknown, and we'll just use a variable x for that. Okay, and this is the total no votes out of the 3,260. Okay, so now just use the methodology for solving proportions, where you take the known quantities that are diagonal from each other. Okay, in this case it's 2 and 3,260. So we multiply those. Always multiply the 2 known quantities. So it's going to be 2 times 3,260. And then when we get that product, we're going to divide it by the quantity that is across from the variable, or diagonal from the variable. In this case, that's 5. Okay? And so we're going to do 2 times 3,260. That comes out to 6,520. And now we have to just divide that by 5, and we'll get our answer for the total no votes. And it comes out to 1,304 no votes. And that's the number we would expect out of the 3,260 total votes.